And then on top of that, I mean, come on, that's like a compliance and regulatory issue just waiting to happen. Going out there and telling people you're going to quadruple their income. So it turns out, after a quick little 5-minute conversation, it was this guy's second day in his business in some network marketing company. So I said, listen, I'll perk up my ears when you can show me anybody that's anywhere near my current level of where I'm at in business that got involved in your business and 4x their income as a result. You show me somebody like that, maybe you get my attention, maybe you get my ears. He led with the wrong thing. What Susan just said was pretty powerful. You use this more than you use this. What that means is questions are the answers. Ask questions and they'll tell you what they're looking for. Don't come tell me that you want to 4x my income. What if I don't even want to 4x my income? What if right now income's not the problem? Maybe time's the problem, or maybe systems, or maybe hiring, or maybe employees, or scaling, or something totally different is the issue. Don't go out there and pitch the money. What you want to do is you want to lead with something so valuable that you get somebody's attention, you grab their attention. And like John said, once you have their attention, we've also got a Magic Millions compensation plan, John. We'll give you 36 months, up to 36 months. You earn $100,000 in commissions, we'll give you a $100,000 cash bonus. You earn $1 million in commissions, we'll give you a $1 million cash bonus. You do it next month, you get the bonus next month. You do it next year, you get the bonus then. Even if it takes you 3 years, you get the bonus then. But that's a side note. There's plenty of money in this thing. If you truly love the product, you believe in the cause, and go out there and share it, you'll be rewarded passionately. So that's something I think I heard everybody here on the stage say, is that what caught their attention was that this is actually, many of them, this is something they would want to attend themselves. Like what Miles said, like an actual, sit down, I can learn in a classroom environment, that's dope, that's awesome, that's cool. That's what people want. It's pretty cool, it's different. So did anybody learn something right there from those answers? I don't mind if you do the order rotation, stuff like that, I don't mind if you go out of order. There's a lot of people in here that are beginners in terms of, I would say most. I mean, I've had a chance to talk with many of you, and I don't even put anybody on the spot with raising hands, but I would say, generally in an audience, you got at least 90% of people here haven't even made their first sale online. Definitely are not 6-figure earners, okay? So, take a minute, you guys, and think back to when you were kind of like either a newbie or you're helping a newbie get started. What is a piece of advice that you would have here? Treat everybody here like they were somebody you personally enrolled here in Techademics, and you're their mentor. What is the starting point for them? Where should they get started? Because, now I ask this because it can be overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming. I think Diane's mentioned that your kids finally go to sleep at night. First of all, you're exhausted because you got to be back up in the morning with them. So you're exhausted. You've already worked hard all day. You pull open your computer, and you're like, I'm just determined I'm going to figure this out somehow. You go and mess with everything and you figure it out. If there's anything we can do right now, you guys, to save them some time and energy, what are some starting points? What should they focus on? Any kind of tips or motivation or inspiration you have for beginners, I think that will make the most impact here in the audience. So, and I'd love to pass the mic around, whatever order you guys want. So share some tips, and share some advice, and share some thoughts. Start, Mike.
So obviously, guys, when you're first starting out, it's very overwhelming. Like they said, you've got so many things you can do: build a list, drive traffic, convert traffic, design funnels. So all of that stuff is that there's a learning curve, right? Like everything has a learning curve, it's natural. So you should expect a learning curve. You should be okay with that. Okay, and be willing to do the work, whatever it takes, right? You need a whatever it takes attitude if you want to succeed, and just be willing to do the work. Now, obviously, Chris and these guys are providing a lot of content that you can leverage, like this live event recording that they spoke about. Like that's like the number one thing, the biggest asset you've got access to right now, to say that you can use to build a list, to show people and get them interested in Techademics. Remember the name? Yeah, Techademics, right? So literally, like a very practical piece of advice, something you can do pretty soon is use whatever Chris and these guys are preparing for you to build an audience, to build a list, to build a relationship, and get them interested in the Techademics. Nothing better than this. I mean, every single person who's in this room who's gone through this live event over the last few days, I mean, you're super pumped about this, right? Yeah? So anybody you show it to, they're going to go through a similar process. So yeah, very practical use that.
Awesome. We did a pretty good job at hiding the name from the leaders as well, as you can tell. We actually literally, can you believe we knew about this name for like over a couple months and somehow kept it a secret? I have no idea how we did that, but We're all learning the name, Techademics, and once you learn it, you're gonna learn to love it. It is a brilliant brand that has international appeal and is far bigger than Internet Marketing College, far bigger. All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'd say a couple of things for you. The first is that if any of you have been promised that, this is going to be easy, that you can do it in a week. I see this kind of stuff all over the internet. It's like, if you join this system or you just join me, I show you, you be making $100,000, in 7 days, right? It's really unrealistic, and I want to be transparent with you. You're going to have to put in the work. That's literally the number one killer of people trying to get started in this business, is that they're lied to, and it's not your fault, by the way, but you are lied to by a lot of people telling you that this is easy, telling you you're going to be able to do this overnight. It's really not like that, okay? The way that we've got to where we're at is we've worked really hard, but not just worked hard, we worked smart. We followed the right people, we followed the training, we persevered, okay? So if you have, been given that promise, then just receive this new one, is that give it 6 months, and maybe you'll be really rocking. Like you'll be absolutely rocking. So you've got to give it time, I believe what Chris is doing is going to be a real mover and shaker in this industry, and I do believe that if you stick with him and you stick with this company, you're going to do very well. But just know that it's going to take a bit of time. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. Once you've got it, you've got a skill set that is going to carry you through your business. Again, one other thing, I don't want to take too long. The other thing is leverage the small wins as well. By the way, a lot of people look at us on stage and you made 7 figures, you made 6 figures, 8 figures. Who's going to want to learn from us? What you've got to understand is, once you start, let's say you've got a list of 10 people, right? You've got 10 leads. You're like, but it's not the hundreds a day that these guys are getting. But there is someone somewhere that wants to learn how to get 10 leads. Do you know what I mean? So you could do a video saying, hey, let me show you how I got 10 leads. Opt into this page, and I'm going to show you a really simple method that I implemented that got me 10 people interested in my business, and then you take that next week. Hey, I've got another 20, so you leverage all the results as you move up. You haven't got to jump straight to the, talking about 6 figures and being like, oh, I haven't done that, Just leverage what you've done so far and keep growing that way. Is that cool? Does that help?
You on? Yeah, guys, this is really a hot button of mine, because again, I've only been online now for about 3.5 years, so I'm not that far removed from being a newbie, and I tell my team, they're out there, so they know this. I think the biggest mistake all of you can really make is, let's say you just joined the thing today, you're brand new to this. So what? Get that thing out of your head that I'm new, who would want to listen to me, okay? Again, because as great as the colleges, academics, all of that, you're going to get awesome training, structured training. You still got to remember that for the most part, people join people. Why would somebody want to join you and you're brand new? You're probably thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm brand new. Who would want to listen to me? What can I offer? Guess what? A lot of people want to listen to you. Okay, a ton of people would like to listen to you. Okay, Miles, well, I'm new. What am I going to share with these people? Well, guess what, folks? You're in school now, or you will be very soon. What you're learning, share with people. And as far as, well, I'm afraid to do videos, I tell my team, okay, it's one or the other. Either you got to be a very good copywriter or be good on video. Because there's only 2 ways we can communicate with our audience, either video or writing emails. I prefer video, it's easier. And guys, I'll tell you, the video thing, it's a paradigm. Get it out of your head. Every single person here, and I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I know you're not going to, I know all of you are not gonna listen, but you need to do this. In between a break, before you go home, way in the back there, every single person should shoot a 2-3 minute video talking about your experience here at the college, in Arizona. Put it up on Facebook, put it on YouTube, and that's your first video. So Miles, what do I talk about? Talk about your experience. Talk about what you learned. Talk about how excited you are that you just became a family.
How many of you have ever been to an event that has, right when you walk down the escalators, there's videos and highlight reels playing, you get on stage, there's a 90-foot screen, and there's excitement and buzz? I mean, has anybody been to another event like this, right? They're very rare, right? You have something to talk about. The energy, the excitement. You've never seen anything like this before. So do like he's saying, do a video and share the reality of this, because this is going to be the buzz that can literally give you momentum in your business. It's a very, very smart thing to do.
So in other words, there's a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah.
a lot to be shooting videos about. I think, how many of you guys are brand new here? Like, you have never made money before, and you look at yourself. Everybody else make money? Awesome. So for beginners, okay, here's my advice to you. When I got started, I was a kid, 19 years old. I got started in the insurance industry, and my mentor was somebody who was earning $2 million a month in that company. It was a big regional guy. He was like the untouchable, and he says one thing that stuck with me forever. He said to me, he was talking to me and everybody else. He says, guys, you will be like the books you read and people you hang out with in 3 to 5 years. He says, in 3 to 5 years, you will be like the books you read and people you hang out with. And I go, oh man, that sounds good, but I got 3 to 5 years to wait for that. I didn't like that idea. And then he said something else. He said, but you can compress time frames, right? You can compress time frames. And the way you do that is you find somebody who is doing what you want to do and you get as close to them as possible. You laser focus. So here's number one thing. A lot of people set themselves up for failure before they even begin. A lot of people in this industry, they will not succeed because they have already failed before they started. How did they fail? They think of themselves as, I'm a newbie, and that mindset gives you an excuse not to do whatever needs to be done. Okay, so I'm a newbie. I didn't make my money because I'm a newbie. I can't make a sale because I'm a newbie. And so because I'm a newbie, I can't do the video yet. Because I'm a newbie, I can't talk to my list yet. Because I'm a newbie, and you see yourself as a newbie. So it's a self-identifier that's going to lead you to failure, right? And that's what I see a lot in the industry. There is a common denominator for those people that succeed and common denominator for those who fail. When I got started online in 2005, I did not have any money. I did not have any experience. Did not know what traffic was. I was as green as it gets, right? And because I was looking at this guy was succeeding, this guy was succeeding, this guy was succeeding, to me, I saw myself as an entrepreneur, right? So you could not convince me, and it might be difficult to believe, but you could not convince me that I wasn't already a millionaire when I did not have $1.90 to my name, and didn't know how I was going to buy bread, for my family tomorrow. In my mindset, I already made it. So a mindset is a huge thing, man. It's the biggest thing. Techniques, training. It's all there. How many videos on YouTube how to start a Facebook campaign, right? Chris Rebber's got a program. You go to YouTube and do a Google search how to get traffic online for free. Thousands of searches, right? So there is no lack of information. But what you need to understand is if you put yourself I can talk about myself. What really helped me is instead of focusing on a lot of people don't succeed because they overcomplicate a simple process. They focus on something that's out there, success. What is success to you? Like, what is success? Can you describe success? What is it? And so if you're confused in your head, don't expect somebody else who's listening to you to be clear on what you're trying to convey to them. You see what I'm saying? So I need to be very, very crystal clear on the direction I want to go, and all it takes is a decision. I decided to be successful, therefore I am, right? So now I just need to bridge that gap. And so the best way I can do that is not to try to focus on all this information that's going around and try to figure this out and getting myself overwhelmed. I simplify things. Okay, so I find somebody who's doing it, whoever invited you here, right? There's probably, if you go up the chain far enough, you'll find somebody who succeeds. So identify somebody who you will want to learn from. Okay, just besides John, all of you guys, Susan, you guys did. We all started the same way, and you learn the key principles, the key elements, what it needs to become successful, and then what you do is it's not about trying to get a sale, it's about trying to become valuable in the marketplace. It's a paradigm shift. Most people don't get it. Most people are going after sales. It's a paradigm shift. If I can become more valuable in the marketplace today than I was yesterday, I have a potential to make more money today than I did yesterday. Right? So money follows value. So how do I do that? How many of you guys got at least one idea from this weekend? At least one idea you can implement, right? Or at least one idea that you can maybe share with somebody else. Maybe you can do a Facebook stream. Maybe you can do a YouTube video. Maybe you can do a blog post. Maybe you can just talk to somebody and just focus on becoming more valuable. That's why education is so important. So again, more of a philosophical angle to this, but this, in my opinion, is the 20% that's going to get you to 80% of the results faster than anything else.
From my experience, I believe it's personal belief, because your actions tend to follow your belief. And one thing I think, if you did it, would attract a lot of people to you, especially if you don't have personal results yet, is casting your vision. Does everyone here have a vision for themselves in this business yet? A lot of you, which is really good, because here's how I launched. After pre-launch, I set a goal, and I said, I'm gonna earn $2.1 million by the end of August, and I wanna help 100 people on our team earn their $100,000 bonus by the end of the year. And I kept casting that vision. I started doing Facebook Lives. Do you know I never did a Facebook Live prior to the pre-launch event? I saw Chris do them, and I saw Vic do them. They both make more money than me. So what did we do when we got home? Facebook Live, Facebook Live. And a lot of our success has come from free advertising, but we've been casting our vision, shouting it from the rooftops, because people are attracted to vision. And there's a quote in the Bible that says, where there is no vision,
people die.
Boom. So right there, one more tip is problem solving. As leaders, we have new problems every single day. The reason we are where we're at is because we have no problem solving problems. And the more problems we solve are it's like we level up, as Chris would say. And I see a lot of people just getting started. They come across the smallest problem, they dwell on it, and they're unwilling to solve it without the help of somebody else. Whereas we will go to Google or we'll go to YouTube and we'll watch an 8-year-old give us the answer or solution to our problem. And that's a skill set that if you develop problem solving and you get good at that, and you're not dependent upon anyone else to solve your problems, you'll be a phenomenal entrepreneur and nothing will be able to stop you.
Moral story is learn from 8-year-olds. It's funny when you said that, it's true. It's something I noticed that successful people do is the amount of time and energy it would take for you to just learn how to be good at researching to find your own answers online. You can usually find the answer in 5 minutes. When you don't have that skill, that same problem can